All right, welcome in. The go live button on Restream still does not work, and I do not know what to do about that. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran. We do this every Monday through Friday, round about this time at some point in the afternoon. We get together and we talk about the world, hot topics, current events, whatever is trending. Today, of course, I got a big lead headline story that we're going to have to touch on, but oh my God. We're going to push that. We're going to kick that a little bit down because I can't start a show with news of another school shooting in America. School shooting, even worse, Catholic school, which makes it even worse because they were in mass. Oh, God. So, all right, we'll get to that. There's some really incredible details that are coming out surrounding the scumbag maniac who pulled this thing off. Crazy details. So we'll get into all of that. Don't you worry. We talk about the big stories when they happen here, but also we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other things. Let's say hi to the chat room. Who do we have so far? We've got Jen is here. Adam's here. Al is here. Taronda's here. Hey, Al. Al came out to trivia last night. Trivia every Tuesday night at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. Come one, come all. It's a blast. Last night's winner for trivia was Lacey. And Ed, let's not forget about Ed, since he answered all the questions. Lacey just put her name. Of course, y'all know Lacey G. She was on yesterday. She is a Taylor Swift weirdo. She came out to trivia. It was great. She sat with Ed, who is the grand poobah here at Radio Misfits. He's in town taking care of some business, and they just wiped the floor with everybody. Everybody! James Parker from WBAP afternoons 3 to 5. He was out there too, slugging it out. He did not. I think he came in maybe second. I'm not sure, maybe third. Al and Bill Folk, Al Gambo in the chat room right now. Al and Bill Folk teamed up and created a team, filling the vacuum left by April, who was missed, but she'll be back hopefully. So that was great. Thank you, Al. It was wonderful hanging out with you last night. He's talking about Lacey. She loved being the winner. Yes, she did. She won, but it was all because of her partner. Her partner answered. Her partner went 19 for 20 on the last card. That's Ed from Radio Misfits. That means there were 20 questions asked. He answered 19 of them correctly. He only missed one question about the Gallup poll. This was in the category of current events. If you remember last week, I told you about a Gallup poll that said that the number one. They polled Americans and asked them what the number one biggest threat to democracy, American democracy, is. And I asked the question, what did this Gallup poll review? That's the only question, or reveal. That's the only question that Ed got wrong last night. And it was, of course, the answer. The Gallup poll revealed that Americans' number one fear, or at least they feel the biggest threat to American democracy, is misinformation. Misinformation is what I was looking for. I think Ed put AI. I don't know. Maybe terrorism. There were a lot of guesses. Almost nobody got that one right. Almost nobody. James Parker certainly didn't, which I found ironic since he's over there doing radio on BAP. Yeah, he didn't get that poll. I'm not saying that James, I'm just saying, there's a reason that I don't pursue jobs in right-wing AM radio. It's a little bit sketchy. You want to sleep well at night. Unless you're a true believer, like, James. James, one of my best friends. I know he's not a bad person. I just think he's wrong about a lot of stuff. And that's kind of why we're friends. We enjoy the back and forth. All right. So that was trivia last night. Trivia last night was a lot of fun. Guys, I got to tell you, I told you last week about a new project that I'm involved in, which involves independent music and independent bands. And I think I told you that I would be starting a new show that for a period of time may interrupt this show. I've been obsessing on this whole thing. My buddy Rob, who we've seen from time to time bounce in and out of the chat room. Rob is a musician out in California, the Bay Area. He's been a musician his whole life. I first met Rob when he was about 20 years old, and he was a singer-songwriter. And I started managing one of the bands that he was in. And then we split apart. And then years later, we came back together as old friends. Hey, how you been? So Rob has this new thing that he's building. He's got a track record, a pretty successful track record of successful projects that he's done over the years, which is why he's allowed to just be a tinkering musician out there in Bay Area wine country. But he's got this new thing that he's doing, and he called me and he asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I think I told you about it. I'm not giving away any names, and I'm not talking about, what exactly it is, but it does have to do with me launching a new show. Now, I want to do it next Monday. I want to start this new thing that I'm doing, which is essentially me just going back. It's a total reinvention for me. Anybody who has known me for the last 25 years, 30 years, you may know me as, a talk show host, a hot take artist, as it says right there. Or, we go all the way back. You might remember me as a stunt boy from morning radio in Chicago, getting arrested and doing all kinds of chaotic things in the streets for entertainment purposes. And so, but before that, people know this about me who know me. Before that, I worked in music. I mean, I came to radio through music. I was managing bands in Chicago, and I was booking bands into clubs and there was a great Chicago scene, if y'all remember, back then in the early 90s, mid 90s. It was really kind of burgeoning up. I think most notably, like Smashing Pumpkins came out of that scene. So, we played with bands, played on bills, and Pumpkins were on the bill, and they were nothing yet. So that was always my love. And I kind of gave that up because I got sucked into radio, and it became a lot of fun. And I had a journalism degree, so why not use it? Something that's a little bit closer to that. So I got away from it. But for a period of time, even in the middle of it, I got sucked back into Q101. I left one radio station and I jumped to another radio station, which is one of America's most important alternative rock stations of all time. And I was the assistant music director there. So I got all kinds of music in front of me and got to listen to it and curate it, as I guess the term is now. So anyway, it's something that I've always been really, really into, even though it hasn't necessarily been something that I've been very public about as far as, hey, it's Pugs. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun for me to do this show. And I also recognize that there's a great many of you who are not going to be even slightly, not a great many, because this show doesn't have a great many. But there's some of you that are going to be like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. And that's totally understood, because it is a completely different target demo and genre. And it's a total reinvention for me. I'm going to be a little bit, probably a little bit different. I'm going to be in my music head mode, the way I get with my kid. And that's really one of the reasons that I'm so excited about this, because I have been re-energized into music, modern music, current music, by my 16-year-old son, who is as into music as he is into Madden. I mean, he is as into music as he is into NFL. And so that has sort of brought us together. We like to listen to new things together. He shows me, he plays stuff for me that I don't know. I play stuff for him that he doesn't know. And there's another part of it. This thing that we've been doing here, and I do believe it's going to continue in some form. I don't know exactly right now what, but I need to do this because I like to do this as well. But this thing that, we've been doing here is going to have to take a little bit of a back seat while I really dive into this new kind of music thing. So what is it going to be? Simple as this. I'm going to do a live stream every day. It's going to be in my head. I want people to listen to the audio. I don't think the video means anything, but because of the world we live in, we have to have video and TikToks and all this kind of stuff. But every day I'm basically going to do a radio show. I'm going to do a radio show where I'm going to play nothing but 10 independent bands that me and Rob and Ed, because Ed is also involved in this, me, Rob, and Ed find these independent bands. Radio Misfits has so much independent music. Why independent music, you might ask? Well, because we can't play anything else. And, necessity being the mother of invention, I'm like, I would really like to be able to play music on a live stream without having to pay, a couple of grand a year to BMI so that I can play a Taylor Swift song, right? But you don't have to do that with independent music. And there's something incredibly cool about discovering new music. So it'll be limited talking. It'll be me giving you a little information on the artist, and then we'll just whoever is attracted to this. Hopefully it'll be fans of the bands and stuff like that. It's a work in progress. I don't want to bore you all with the details of what it's going to be, but it will be a daily show for 1 hour where I play 10 songs. It's all a part of a bigger plan. So that is going to come hopefully on Monday. I will start this because there is a monthly chart. Think of a Casey's Coast to Coast. There is a monthly chart aspect to this, where every month I will produce a show where we will only play the 10 best from that month's 50 songs a week. So 200, right? So the 10 best. I'm not going to bore you with how we're going to determine what the 10 best is, but I've already reached out to a number of my friends in music and radio and people who are formerly in big bands and shit like that. And I said, if I sent you 10 songs, if I sent you 10 songs a week, would you listen to them and then send it back to me, ranking them 1 through 10? So that's how we're going to create this monthly list of the music that gets the best response, the songs that people like. Those songs will get sent to my college of curators, if you will. And they are all pros. They are all former major market radio DJs, some of them here in town. There's a number of big time rock luminaries, icons of music radio in this town who I've already reached out to who are like, yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. So this is the big plan that's coming forward. I'm going to start stepping into a different genre, music, because as I was kind of alluding to earlier, this talk, everybody mad at each other, everybody screaming at each other, everything is divisive. It's not good for the soul. But you know what is good for the soul? Music. Just music. So I'm just going to do some music. And I'm going to try and get into the independent music world and try and create this lane of every day doing a music radio show live, streamable, that you can listen to. New music, you're going to hear it for the first time. And I know for a lot of people, that's like, I don't like listening to new music. Well, that's fine. This ain't for you. But there are people who know about that moment. And that moment is the magic. What is the moment? The moment is that first time you hear a song. Not all songs do this to you, but there are some songs that the first time you hear them, you go, holy fuck. See, I believe you have to listen to a song 2 or 3 times to really judge it. But there are the very random occasions where you hear a song for the very first time and you're like, wow. Now, that was sort of my job as music director when I was, or assistant music director, when I was helping to sift through all of the stuff that was being sent to our alternative station in Chicago. I remember, I'll give you an example of a song, a one listen song. I'll give you the best example, but I'll give you one example of when I was doing music direction. Do you remember Meredith Brooks? Meredith Brooks was a chick who had one hit in like the late 90s. It was called I'm a Bitch. It's like, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a whatever. It was a huge pop hit. I remember having that CD and getting in my car because I would listen to all of these CDs that the record companies were pitching and getting in my car and putting that in. And from, I don't know, the first 30 seconds, I remember going, that's a fucking hit. That's a hit record. That is a hit record. And we added it and it became a hit. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't make it a hit. I'm saying that I added it to the station in Chicago that played the fuck out of it. So it was a small part of it. But that was a rush to me. That was like the idea that that was a thing. I did the same thing on the morning show that I was producing when I just started filling the airwaves with Liz Phair rejoins and Urge Overkill rejoins when they were still just a local band. But there is something about that moment where you hear a song and you're like, oh, that's a hit. I can see. And you don't even have to like it. It doesn't even have to appeal to you. You just have to be of the sensibility to go, yeah, people will like that. I mean, it maybe not my thing, but people will like that. The greatest, most purest example of this that I ever experienced was the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit. That was it. That was a game changer. I mean, you got to understand, we were going from the charts were filled with Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign, and New Kids on the Block, and Michael Jackson. You know, that's what was filling the charts. And then all of a sudden, the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, I was like, it's over. This is so different. It strikes you. Great music strikes you. To that end, I want to play something for you. And I know I'm not going to, don't worry, this isn't the place for this, but I do want to show you a recent experience like that I had. This is one of the bands that will be undoubtedly, because I am now a huge fan of this band. This is one of the bands that I will undoubtedly be playing and following and trying to promote as a curator on The Daily Show. And again, I'll have more information about what this is all about. It's all about a much larger project that's happening out in California. I'm just doing my little part. But just listen to this. Give it a listen. Do that thing. Have you ever seen the YouTube reaction videos? You know, you just listen to this. Just give this a listen. And tell me that this doesn't produce that moment for you where you're like, oh, fuck, first time I heard this, this is a good song. Check this out.
I just want you to sing, please sing to me. I know I'm not the one for you, but can I please pretend to be? Melodies in my head about what I want you to do to me. But can we just talk a little longer? Two of us in the same room, then we get to know each other. I love you, but I don't know if I'd ever even bother. I know you love music, won't you sing to me a little longer?
All right. So this are a couple of kids who met at the School of Rock in Seattle. And they're called Mr. Dinkles. There's a song called Sing to Me. And it's amazing. That is amazing. If you are a person that thinks that rock and roll is dead, two chicks. I see Adam. We've got some Jack White. Someone loves Jack White. Yeah, someone loves. Are you fucking out of your mind? Someone loves Jack White. A lot of people fucking love Jack White, Adam. Your snark is not appreciated. Yeah, that's called influence. That is a couple of girls in their 20s in Seattle. Two girls, a drummer and a guitar player, who started writing vociferously through COVID and have been playing there in Seattle. They're called Mr. Dinkles. There's some videos of them out there. They're pretty wild. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that I want to find. I want to find these songs that actually, like that one, the very first time I heard it, when this chick came in singing at this point right here in this song, the first time I heard it, oh my God, listen. When she comes in, I'm like, is that a dude? Is that Robert Plant? I mean, yeah. Black Keys is also something that people said those are. Well, good. Great bands have influences, man. I mean, the first time I heard Nirvana, I went, they sound like Naked Ray Gun. I go, this is Naked Ray Gun. So yeah, great bands have influences. But the greater thing here is that for anybody who thinks that rock and roll is dead, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to be like, oh, I guess rock and roll is dead. It's all kids in their rooms alone wearing headphones with a laptop. That's how it is now. That's the mainstream now. But you know what the cool fucking kids are doing? You know what the coolest fucking 16-year-olds in America are doing right now? They're playing guitars in their garages because the pendulum will swing. rock and roll will come back. It's not a fad. I'm sorry. What the guitar, what the banging drums, what the screaming vocals do to certain people will never go away or be replaced by electronica or some cool ass beat a 12-year-old stumbled across. No. It's not about saving rock. I'm not going to say rock, but I do, since I have opportunity, and this came a knocking. Hey, would you be interested in doing this? I was like, yeah. As a matter of fact, I would. And I want you to be a part of it. I mean, if I didn't have this deep musical background with Rob that goes back 40 years, he would have never thought of me for this. But I'm so glad that he did, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. So more details coming soon. Mr. Dinkles, that band, that two chicks that are rocking out like that, they got like 141 followers on Facebook. They got like 500 on Instagram. There's amazing, amazing shit out there that we just don't get to see because the gatekeepers forever have been the ones who decide. The gatekeepers decided that we needed the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. The gatekeepers decide. See, it's always been the gatekeepers. We're in an era now where the gatekeepers have less power and the individual, if they can market on a social platform, have every bit as much power. Justin Bieber wasn't signed by a major label because they're like, this kid's got talent and he's matriculated through the system the way we expect. Justin Bieber sang a song on a fucking YouTube video. People being exposed to it. So that's what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about doing rock and roll again, doing unsigned things, bands. Besides, also dealing with these artists so much easier than when they're famous. Just so much. So the interviews that we'll do and the attempt to plug in the scenes around the country and all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be fun. So that's going to start hopefully on Monday. And on Monday, it might just be me playing some music. I don't expect you to be there. But if you want to check it out, we'll do that. Now, as I said about this show, I'm going to keep doing this show in some way, shape, or form. It might be a lot shorter. It might just me coming in here and just ranting about 4 things and then, being done. Because the other project is going to take a lot of time, a lot of office time, a lot of behind-the-scenes time, that kind of thing. But never fear, this will continue. Adam. All right, let's go. I am so hot. Should we talk about the things that are happening in the world today? Why not start off on something good and something aspirational? Nothing cures a sick soul quite like good music. That's what I always say. So now let's deal with that aforementioned sick soul, right? Okay, so we've got a school shooting again. We all woke up to this in America. Minneapolis, not just a school shooting. It's a Catholic school shooting, and they were in mass. And the shooter, what's the total now? We got 2 dead kids, 8 and 10 years old. 14 other children were shot and rushed to the hospital, as well as 3 adults. Let's see. 9 of those 14 children who were rushed to the hospital are pediatric patients, meaning they're between the ages of 6 and 14. 4 of them are in critical condition, so we don't, 2 dead for now, is what they're saying. So this was a back-to-school mass. I don't know how familiar you are with Catholic schools, but they have these things. Yeah, you got to go to church at Catholic school, not just on Sunday either. It's like, so all the kids were there in their little school uniforms, their little khaki pants with their little polo shirts, and some crazy person started shooting outside the school church. I'm sorry, this was in the church. And then went in and then just, sprayed everybody. I got a lot to say about this, like a lot of stream of consciousness kind of stuff to say about this, but I don't even know if I want to do that, because to do that would then put me in a place, a mood, if you will. And I got other fun things that I want to talk about here. But I also don't want to just glance over this. Glance over this, glance over that. I just made up a word. Whatever, we'll go with it. I talk a lot in the last few weeks about how we have normalized so many things in our society. And it's been a slow creep towards normalization, but it's normal now. I use the example of growing up in a city like Chicago and having certain neighborhoods within walking distance of where I went to bed at night that I had never been to simply because you're not allowed to go there. And that's normal. Say not allowed to go there. Smart people don't go there. Smart people, let's be honest, smart people who look like me don't go there, okay? And that's normal. And the people of Chicago are just like, well, that's just how it is. Mass shootings are normal. We've got the whole protocol down. We hear about the mass shooting. We clutch our pearls. Maybe we text somebody, did you hear about the mass shooting? So that we can be someone that delivers bad news to somebody else. We love that. Psh, psh, endorphins. It's all a brain thing. And then we obsess about it on social media for, I don't know, till it's time to go home from work, I guess. And then we never mention it again. And oh yeah, that was just the mass shooting that happened a couple of days ago. And the next one will happen, and it'll be thoughts and prayers, pearl clutching. Why are we doing this? Some of you, another day in America. We've normalized it. We've normalized the response. We've made that response acceptable so that we're all okay. All right, I did my part. The problem is simple. The problem is letting fucking crazy people have guns. That's it. That's, we can go further, right? We can start politicizing this, and we can say, well, maybe it's just guns. Shut the fuck up, okay? Let's deal with what we have to deal with, and that is that anybody, okay? I don't care if they've had a mental diagnosis or been, remanded into custody for evaluation. I don't fucking care if none of that has happened in their past. If you are a person who takes a gun and decides to kill a bunch of strangers, you're fucking crazy, okay? I don't need Bob Newhart, or I was trying to think of a famous psychiatrist. I don't need a psychiatrist to tell me that person's crazy, okay? Crazy, fucked up people getting guns. Well, what if they don't have a history of being crazy? Okay, what you mean is a reported history of being crazy. Right? Like there are people out there who are fucking crazy who just haven't gotten in trouble for the first time yet. And maybe the first time they get in trouble is when they decide to shoot up the Annunciation Catholic School in Minnesota. He could have gotten a gun. He wasn't crazy. He's obviously crazy. So that doesn't work. That idea of, look, we need to make it so that people who are certifiably crazy can't get guns. Okay, if we can't all agree on that at the federal level, shut up, NRA. All right. So if you've been in a mental institution, you shouldn't be able to ever legally possess a handgun in America. That's a place to start. Now let's deal with the other people, the undiagnosed. How do we ensure that they don't get guns? I don't know. Maybe a competency test. I have no idea. This is so above my pay grade. But the idea that we do nothing because we know that within 48 to 72 hours, the news networks will get bored of covering this story and they'll just move on to something else and then we'll forget all about it. How many kids were killed at Uvalde? You don't fucking know. You don't remember because it's just another number. How many were gunned down in Las Vegas? You don't fucking know. We don't commit these things to memory because they're not important. And you know why they're not important? Because they're normalized. I don't have any answers. I don't have any answers other than to raise my hand and say, hey, we shouldn't let fucking crazy people have guns. And maybe we should be a little bit more diligent about rooting out the undiagnosed crazies among us. Oh, and also, here's the big thing. This isn't an American flaw. Those other things were American flaws. No. This is just a human flaw. This is who we are. This is how God made us. We don't care if it didn't happen to us. We performatively care. And we'll clutch our pearls for people in Minnesota and we'll be like, and then we'll start thinking about what to make for dinner and we'll go on with our lives. Because that's what we have to do. That's how you survive a mad, chaotic world. We really don't care. We're upset by this news, but then, the Cowboys also cut one of my favorite practice preseason heroes, and I'm upset by that too. Nobody cares until it happens to them. Nobody cares. You know who cares? The fathers of the dead kids who then go on TV and talk about that. And then some of you people who cared in the moment but don't care anymore, then you start looking at the fathers of dead kids and going, fucking libtard! This fucking libtard! You people, we people, humanity, we're failing each other. We are failing each other. There are stuff, God forbid, some of you listening to this. If it is, just get the fuck out of here because I don't have anything to do with you. But there are people out there who actually think that Sandy Hook was faked. You people are fucking monsters. You're trash people. Who does that fucking theory serve? You fucking weirdos. Yeah, I'm angry. I got a kid that goes to an American high school in the great state of Texas who doesn't give a fuck who's got a gun. But just like the rest of us, I'll get over it. Oh, I'll get over it. You kidding me? By dinner tonight, I'll be like, this was really good barbecue. America's great. All right. So now the other factor here that we got to talk about with this guy is that apparently, what was he, trans? Is this a trans guy? I think it might be. I think we got another trans guy going nuts. There have been reports, some of them from less than credible on social media. That's where I was first alerted to the idea that this miscreant might also be dabbling in the trans lifestyle. So that wasn't something I was going to mention. But I just saw the mayor of Minneapolis on TV talking about how don't take this out on the trans community. Just in the press conference that I just watched before we signed on, the mayor of Minneapolis was out there, and he's like, I just want to say that we've heard of some threats and some violence against members of our trans community, which is wrong, which is just so fucking stupid. Show me you're fucking stupid. Just go beat up a random person that has something in common with the person who just did a horrible thing. Dude was also tall. He was like 6'3". Are you just going to go after people who are 6'3"? He had long red hair. Let's start stomping the guts out of redheads. I mean, unless you're just like, he's trans, so he did it. Here's what I think. Or they're trans. Whatever. I don't know. But the trans issue for me wasn't even an issue. It was just social media gossip until the fucking mayor of Minneapolis just offered it up. And I'm like, oh, so maybe he was trans. I feel like I should know that because I watched like a 15-minute video that this psycho made in his bedroom last night before he did this. Have you seen this? All right, we'll look at a little bit of this. All right, let's see here. The shooter has been ID'd. Let's take a look at this guy or girl or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't even know if they're trans. Just, the only thing I have to go on is that the mayor of Minneapolis said that trans people are being targeted in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area after this shooting. Now, maybe that's due to some misinformation about the person being trans. And I don't know. It's not even that big of a deal because you see, what's more important to me than him being trans or they being trans or whatever I'm supposed to say is that they were fucking nuts and had an arsenal. That is the thing we should be focused on, you fucking idiots. No, he was trans. That supports something that I've been talking about on Twitter for the last few years. Trans is bad, so I'm gonna lean into that aspect of the story. You're not a serious person. You're not a serious person if the fact that this dude could be trans is the most important aspect of this story. You're not a serious person. And God forbid this bullshit ever comes knocking at your door. Because again, we don't seem to really be serious about this stuff until it happens to our kids at our school, in our community. Our community, fuck that. It's got to happen to your kid. It can happen to the kid across the street and you'll be out jet skiing over the weekend, not thinking about it. All right, let's find out about this guy. The New York Post is now identifying him, and not that the New York Post is a beacon of intellectual or journalistic integrity, but the New York Post is now identifying this person as a trans shooter. Minnesota Catholic school shooter ID'd as trans woman Robin Westman, while possible manifesto shows psychotic obsession with mass shooters. Yeah, I watched the manifesto video. I watched all 11 minutes, 12 minutes of it. And this dude was all over this, them, it, whatever, was all over the road, man. All over the road. A Nazi. They were big into Nazism. How do we know this? Well, on all of the weapons that they used, there's a video of him filming all of his weapons, and he wrote messages, which apparently is a thing among this class of fucking idiot. They all write their little messages on their guns. This dude had like a couple of long guns. He had a shotgun. He had a pistol. He had smoke bombs. He had shit tons of ammunition. Some of the things that he wrote on these guns, and we'll see it in the video. He had smoke bombs, and on the device that he created to hold these smoke bombs, he wrote Jew gas. On one of the guns, he wrote 6 million wasn't enough, reference to the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust. In another, he wrote Israel must be destroyed. All right, so right there, he's showing that. A lot of other shit that he had written was in Russian. He seemed to have a very strong affinity towards our Russian adversaries. There was a lot of Cyrillic letters, and I don't know what they say because I don't speak or read the Cyrillic alphabet, but a lot of Russian stuff. He had on one gun, when he flipped it over, it said "Kill Trump, rest in peace." Okay. He had anti-Mexican stuff. He had "Kill a Spick" on one of the guns. He had the N-word on a whole bunch of guns. So I mean, this is obviously a very fucked up person. You know, they're showing like, oh, so because he did this, he's a Nazi. Well, no, because he did this, he must hate blacks. Well, no, that's not all. Spicks too. He doesn't like Spicks. That's what he wrote. Kill a Spick. Trump, he doesn't like Trump. He's not a Trump guy. He must be a Gavin Newsom Democrat. I don't think that's the case either, man. This fucking guy, this chick, this guy, whatever, all over the place. All right, let's take a look at this freak show. I gave you the name, right? Robin Welton or something like that. Here we go. From the New York Post. That is definitely not him. There you go. Look at this fucking long horse-faced freak show. That's a weird-looking dude, right? That's a weird-looking person. Robin Westman, 23 years old, I believe. Bad hair. He's got bad like Robert Plant hair from 1978, and then that's not even feminine chick hair. That's. Let's see if there's anything else from him. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Now I am comfortable saying that this was a trans person because it looks to me right here that is definitely somebody which, you know, while I'm here, what do you think his core defining issue is? Well, you see this person and you're like, what is the core thing? What is the number one thing? He's tall. He's got a long horse face. He's trans. Seems to have some Nazi sympathy. Hitler was cool was another thing that was written in the manifesto. So what is the first thing you take away? Is the first thing that they're trans? Because the first thing I take away is that this person is a lunatic. And somebody who's a lunatic in this particular era, I could see dabbling in the idea that they're gender fluid without necessarily, or I should say authentically and sincerely, being somebody who suffers with that. Trans is a real thing. I believe it's a real thing. I believe that there is a body. Look, man, I grew up with a kid named Ricky. And whenever I think of Ricky, like all this time, now we're like 40, 50 years later, whenever I think of Ricky, I picture Ricky as a chick. Because although Ricky was a little boy, he was the most girly little boy that I can ever remember. And from a very young age, I'm like, that dude's in the wrong body. That dude, something happened with the brain, everything got crisscrossed, and that dude is walking around with a penis, and he shouldn't be because he acts like a chick. So I believe that's a very real thing. As I said, having been exposed to it very young. He used to dress up in girls' clothes and stuff like that too, as like a 6, 7, 8-year-old boy. Anyway. So I believe that's a real thing. I don't believe it's a real common thing. I don't. I believe that this authentic body dysmorphic thing where people can best serve themselves in their life by transitioning to a different sex than the one they were assigned at birth, that is a real thing. And how can you not have compassion for somebody going through, if you believe it's a real thing, as I do, because the brain is fucking crazy, man. We don't know shit about what our brain makes us do. So I believe it's a real thing. And I have compassion for those people. But I also believe that there has been so much exploitation of that, what I consider to be very rare situation. There's been such exploitation over the past decade or so. I'm sorry, but 15 years ago, we weren't talking about trans people anywhere. We didn't see them anywhere. You didn't see, every once in a while, I'd be like, okay, I think that might be a dude, right? In a dress. That's what you do. And now we're back to talking about normalization, like the idea that trans could be your issue has become normalized. So what I'm saying is, I think there's a lot of people out there running around identifying as trans for the past 18 months or whatever. Catch up with them in 5 years. They won't, you know what I mean? It'll just be something that they're doing now. Think about in the late 90s, early 2000s, when suddenly lesbianism was okay. Gay dudes still verboten, but chicks making out, that's awesome. How many straight chicks dabbled in lesbianism between 1998 and 2005 simply because that became normalized? Oh, these two chicks are going to make out in front of the whole bar. Oh, they're using tongue, they're grabbing each other. That's gay stuff. They're doing gay stuff, but it was normalized and it was okay. None of those women ended up, marrying female gym teachers and running off to Costa Rica to raise dolphins. All right, that's not what didn't happen. They got married. It's normal. It just became normalized in our society to sort of dabble in this thing. So when I see situations like this, I don't think that this person is trans. I think this person is fucking crazy from the beginning, which might have led to him now dabbling or being, trans or whatever. I do not for 1 minute believe that the condition of being body dysmorphic or feeling that you're in the wrong body, I don't for a minute believe that that has anything to do with a desire to slaughter children while they pray at mass. And if you do, you're stupid, okay? They're not related. Now, what could cause these things to be related is that he's just fucking nuts. He's crazy. He's crazy. So all of these things, don't try and figure it out. Just know that he's crazy. He was undiagnosed, and the laws of the land allowed him to accumulate a fucking arsenal and then kill 2 little kids, 8 and 10 years old, while they prayed to Jesus in church. All right, let's look at this guy. Let's see what else we got on this freak show. Okay, so see, this is here. Here's a picture. See, these are, you wrote all these. This is fart N-word, the big one. He wrote all over these things. Let's watch a little bit of the video, shall we? Shall we watch this video? Now, the sound is bad because he's got terrible audio. He's kind of mumbling, but you can't hear him. I wonder if this video is even still available. Because, sometimes you have a video, it's just that sometimes the video isn't available. They take it down. Let's see. This video. Oh, okay. This video, excuse me, appears to still be available. All right, let's watch a little bit of the video shot by the school shooter last night. This is him trying to explain what it's all about, showing off his weapons and what he's going to be using. Try and listen as best we can, but the sound isn't good, so here we go.
Here's my note to my family and shit. Wow, some English writing. Wow.
All right, so I read this note. I read the whole thing. I paused it. You can do the same, if you want. It's just he's a narcissist. He has no grasp of what's about to happen after he perpetrates this action of killing all of these kids. He's like giving advice to his family and like they're going to take him seriously at all. Here, I'll read a little bit of this. Let me see if I can give you an example here. It says, I love you all and truly appreciate the time I have spent with you. I have such an amazing family, and it hurts me to throw the wrench into the works of you people. I feel hope when I'm with you. I cherish our time together. I appreciate all that you have taught me, and I felt inspired to be in the likes of you when I grew up. Hope you are able to move on and continue your lives without being forever followed, forever haunted by my actions. Forget me and all that I am. Hold on to yourselves and your loved ones. I love you all. There's just so much delusion in this note that he reads. Like, he expects his family to read this like he's a hero. His family they're not going to want to read this. His family's life, especially in the community here where they live, is over. They're the fucked up weird family with the serial killer kid, the mass shooter kid. He's talking to his brothers and sisters here. And to my friends, now he's talking to his friends. And to my friends, I trust you all to give your memory of me however you see fit. I am sorry for the confusion and heartbreak that this will bring. I truly appreciate all of you for showing me a good life and helping me through the dark times. I've had so many good times that gave me hope. Unfortunately, this world has too much pain to deal with that I can't cover up with all the good times. I hope you all can move on and forget the pain that I've caused. I hope you all can just move on. I mean, I'm guessing the families of the dead kids, they probably will have more difficulty moving on. But you guys, please, I just hope. I wanted this for a long time. I am not well. I am not right. I am a sad person, haunted by these thoughts that do not go away. I know this is wrong, but I can't seem to stop myself. I am severely depressed and have been suicidal for years. Only recently have I lost all hope and decided to perform my final action against this world. I don't want to kneel down for the injustices of this world. I want to die. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Oh, fuck you, dude. Who do you think you are? Who do you think? Nobody gives a shit. You're nuts. This is the actions of a crazy person.
You can read that.
All right, this one is interesting, too, because this provides some kind of motivation. He thinks he's dying. He mentions this a couple of times. He thinks he's dying of cancer because he vapes too much. I think I'm dying of cancer. It's a tragic end. Of course, he's undiagnosed. So he's like, I think I got cancer. I may as well kill a bunch of kids in church now. I think I'm dying of cancer. It's a tragic end, and it's entirely self-inflicted. I did this to myself as I cannot control myself and have been destroying my body through vaping and other means. So he's saying that the vaping is caused cancer, undiagnosed, but he's pretty sure he's got it. So that's why he's going to kill people. He's going to die anyway. I think I have lung cancer. I have felt many pains that make me think I am past the point of recovery. Well, go see a fucking doctor. I do not want to recover. I do not want to throw my life away by rotting in a hospital bed. I do not want the rest of my life to be as a cancer patient in and out of hospitals, constantly being fretted about with people afraid to be too happy around me. Fuck that. I want to go out on my own. See, this is all self-diagnosed. All right, I'm going to be done reading. You get an idea.
Yeah. Peace, love, unity, and God.
Now, this is interesting. This is the last page, and he adds some, because he's cute, because he's being cute, he adds some postscripts. He adds a little P.S. He ends the last page with, I love you all. I will remember, I love you all. I will remember you, I guess. Pray for the victims and their families. He wants his family to now do some praying for the people that he kills. Pray for the victims. Yeah, they're good kids. They didn't really do anything. They just were there when I pulled the trigger. Then he signs his name, Robin M. Westman. But here's the P.S. that I thought was weird, because he names his whole family. He says, I love you, Dad, Mom, Jack, Martha, Teresa, Joe, Jared, Phil, and Liam. It's a hell of a big family. But then he's got a postscript to someone named T, and I'm guessing that would be his sister, Teresa, who he names. He says, P.S. T, get over yourself and make up with Mom. She loves you. You need to grow up and accept that time just keeps on fucking moving. You either will stay in the past and rot, wasting your life and your happiness away, or you can grow up and move on from things. We all love you. Fucking, like, his last thing is, I'm gonna try and get my sister and mom back together because I'm a good dude. I'm a good dude and you should listen to me. And I know, because obviously I'm not fucking crazy.
Пока, my brata. Пока.
Again, we're watching the shooter of the Annunciation Catholic School killed 2 children, 17 other people were injured, bunch of them other kids. They're all in the hospital, some of them in critical condition. We're watching a video that he uploaded last night, hours before he would perpetrate this unbelievable crime.
9mm. Get fucked. This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon. Brandon Herrera for president. Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had a brief conversation, but we agreed.
All right, I have no idea who Brandon Herrera is. Let's fast forward a little bit. Like I said, this is an 11-minute video. Oh, here he is walking through his house. Let's see what.
Shit. I regret everything. I didn't ask for life. You didn't ask for death. I'll make my own fucking stars.
I didn't ask for life. You didn't ask for death. I'm going to make my own fucking stars. Ugh.
watch my 9mm go bang.
All right, so this is another interesting thing since he targeted a Catholic mass. This is in his room. He's got one of those targets, you know, like an outline of a human body. He's got one of those targets in his room, and where the face and head goes, he's got Jesus. All right, now we're going to get a look at all of his arsenal and all the little messages that he wrote on the arsenal. Let's go through them. All right, see now this is some Russian bullshit. I have no idea what that means. Let's keep going. All right, it says, I'm the Waker, baby. Why so queerious? This fucking weirdo.
The Woker, baby.
Woker, excuse me.
Why so curious?
Where is your God? I got to tell you, that's I posted on Twitter this, just a simple sentence. 2 little kids were shot dead today while they were praying. Where's your God indeed? I mean, that was my first thought. I was like, oh my God. Praying? Do you know the innocence? You know what? I can't.
There's your fucking God now.
Shit.
All right, so those are a bunch of names of people, and I wonder if they're people he knows or people he considers enemies on the other side that he just showed. Here, these are like names. Oh, okay, so that's these are all the names of other mass shooters. That's Lanza for Adam Lanza. That is Whitman for the Texas Bell Tower shooter. Restakov, I don't know who that is. That must be some famous Russian. Anyway, yeah, that's what it seems to be. It seems to be paying tribute, homage, if you will, to the great mass shooters before him. And there's that fucking Skibbity thing again. Skibbity is fucking scary. Fucking kids are obsessed with that. I don't want to get into it.
Skibbity Riz. Scum gang.
All right, as you can, this dude is fucking nuts. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit. There's a whole bunch of like anti-Semitic stuff here. The Trump will show the one that says "fuck Trump" or "kill Trump" or something. Let's see, nothing ever. Humanity. Can't read all these.
Vivimos en el sociedad.
Ted K, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Pedos.
Help me, I don't want to be here. Well, you're here.
Okay, what else do we have? We're watching the home video made by the shooter of today's Minnesota school shooting, made last night. What's that? There's a German Iron Cross right there, up there. But you know, the Iron Cross, like I know a dude who's got an Iron Cross tattoo and he didn't know that it stood for, like, he's like, he got it like in the mid 90s. He was an MMA fighter and he got it in the mid 90s and he's like, I'm not a Nazi. It used to be kind of just a cool symbol. It was like a metalhead symbol. And now all of a sudden the Iron Cross means something that we didn't know that it meant back then. Fuck optics. Bull pilled. Kill Trump now. There you go. There it is. Kill Trump now. Okay.
Fuck Niger.
What is Niger? What is NYJA? What is Niger?
That dude raped someone. Yeah, man. Yeah. Got my new headphones. So I can...
He's got his headphones so he can listen to music while he's doing it. He's going to try on his little outfit. He's got a knife. Okay, here's his little outfit he's going to wear.
Better than the best. I got my Minnesota patch. In the fucking FSB. Maybe I look like a cop and I won't get rushed or something. I don't know.
He's thinking he's got an FSB. He's got a Soviet FSB, which is their secret police patch. And he's like, maybe I'll look like a cop and I won't get rushed right away. All right, I can't do any more of this guy. That's him. That's the freak show. That's the freak show who's provided the worst day in a few people's lives. Worst. I hear these stories. I can't imagine. The first press conference occurred at 11 o'clock this morning when the police officer said that we have called the parents of the victims, the deceased. That's what it was. It was the deceased. He had notified the parents of the deceased. Said that in a press conference at 11 o'clock. Could you imagine? I mean, look, I know it's terrible. I know that, people got shot, people got hurt and all that stuff. And that's horrible. And I don't even want to think about that. But I always go to the survivors. I always immediately, not the survivors who were there when it went down. I mean, the survivors who were at home waiting for their kid to come back, or the dad who was in a meeting when he got a text that changed his fucking life forever. But hey, it didn't happen to us. So, it's normal. And the guy, whoo, thank God. Whoo, happened up there in Minnesota today. We dodged another bullet. Just another day in America. All right, let's move on. There you have it. Again, the latest is 2 dead, 17 others taken to the hospital. I don't know. Fuck ups with guns, man. All right. I want to take your guns away. I'm a Second Amendment guy. I believe in the right to bear arms, but fuck up with guns. Can we just get fucking serious? Can we stop? All right, let's move on. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, Cracker Barrel's a big bitch. Cracker Barrel. What, has Cracker Barrel learned nothing from Donald Trump? I say this all the time. Donald Trump taught me one thing. And you know what that is? Do whatever you want. When the people say, hey, you can't do that, look at them and go, fuck you, and move on. And guess what? They'll move on too. They'll completely forget. No matter what it is that you want to do, they'll be really angry in the moment, but you're a tough guy. You can take that. In the moment, that's going to pass. And then pretty soon, everyone will forget, and you will have gotten what you wanted, and you spent 48 hours with people saying, he's a bad person. But guess what? You survived, and you got what you wanted. That's what the Trump... I always go back to Al Franken, another Minnesota senator. Remember, he did something that was totally fine. Totally fine. He's a fucking senator in the United States Senate. Totally fine. But because a bunch of fucking weirdos were like, that's sexual assault, he resigned. Al Franken gave up a Senate seat because of that. Why? Because he was doing the right thing. We all know now that if Al Franken back then had gone, yeah, that looks bad. I'm sorry about that, but I got a meeting I got to get to. I got to go pass some laws because I'm a senator. He would still be the senator from Minnesota today if he didn't fall on his sword like a good libtard. Trump taught us you don't have to fall on your sword. You get into a fist fight over it. The people who like to bitch and moan about stuff, especially in the case of Al Franken, those people are pussies. They ain't ready for a fight. Push back on them. And here's the other thing. They're really flighty. They're going to move on to something else that's going to make them mad in just a couple of days. All you got to do is hold your breath. Al Franken didn't do that. Well, neither did Cracker Barrel, because Cracker Barrel caved. I will never go to a Cracker Barrel again, I said now with absolutely no intention of following up on that statement. If I'm hungry and I'm on the road and there's a Cracker Barrel at the next exit, I'm fucking going to Cracker Barrel, okay? But the whole time I'm in there, I'll be like, you feckless pussies, you bowed down to the mob. I thought that's what we weren't supposed to do. We were supposed to learn from the Trump administration, whether you like them or you dislike them. The one takeaway is don't bow to the mob, because the mob doesn't really care about this issue. The mob just wants a little attention and to be part of something. I'm a part of this thing that we all hate together. Ignore the fucking mob. They're fleeting. They'll go away. Cracker Barrel wanted to redesign because they want to move their company. They want to move their whole brand and image into something that isn't fucking, Kentucky front porch swing. And I totally get that from a business standpoint. As I said the other day, the whole brand of Cracker Barrel and Uncle Herschel on the front porch, that was a sentimental attachment to boomer travelers. Boomer travelers remember the 1940s when people still sat on fucking porch swings, and that's what drew them. That was the branding that was so effective for Cracker Barrel in the beginning. But guess what? There ain't nobody that has a sentimental attachment to old Uncle Herschel in the rocking chair by the Cracker Barrel. Those fucking people are all dead, and at the very least, they don't travel anymore. Young families want something that's a little bit more modern, fresh, suits the needs of the modern person. And Cracker Barrel made the decision to pursue that. But 3 days of fucking idiots going, there's a woke company, and the stock price going down 20% caused them to completely cave. So now they're stuck with their dumb child molester uncle on the front porch bullshit. You are gutless, Cracker Barrel. Y'all should have just fucking doubled down and just been like, yeah, you know what else we're going to do? We're going to start serving liquor. They just started doing that at some locations. I know that there's a lot of Cracker Barrels that don't. We're going to have pole dancing now at Cracker Barrel. A little something for the kids. I hate it. Here, listen to the bullshit that Cracker Barrel said. These people, it's like, we've heard you. We've heard you, and we're listening and making I'm like, oh, make me fucking vomit, Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel scraps new logo after outrage from customers. Cracker Barrel has announced that it will scrap its new logo after backlash from customers. Look, I don't care either way. Do they still got the pot roast and the meatloaf? You tell me Cracker Barrel is taking their pot roast off the fucking menu, then I'll be angry and maybe never go again. But if you think I visit restaurants based on how the signs hit me, I'm not going to eat there. I don't like the design of that logo. What kind of a weirdo are you? Let's see. Cracker Barrel informed, blah, blah, blah. It was planning to revert back to its old logo. Okay, so they're going back to the old logo, which is fine. It's fine, whatever. The old logo, the new logo. What I'm angry about is that you caved to the mob after I was hoping that we would now see more and more people who find themselves briefly under fire, not caving to the mob anymore and just going forward with what they plan to do. But no, in the case of Cracker Barrel, so upsetting. So upset. It's not upsetting at all. I'm being performative right now. It's not upsetting at all. I can give a shit about Cracker Barrel unless you tell me the pot roast is no longer on the menu. Then I got a problem. All right, let's see. What else? How about some good news? How about some really good news? Oh my God. This was the news of the day. I woke up to this and immediately began craving. You guys, I can't believe this. This is like a dream come true. This is like one that I would never have even dreamed of because I thought that there had been plenty of opportunities for this kind of expansion, but they were just not interested in it because this is a company that focuses on a very specific territory in America. So living here in Texas all these years, I have just kind of gotten used to the idea that the only time I'll ever get White Castle again is if I go back to Chicago, where I was raised on White Castle. Oh my God, it's my favorite hamburger joint. Yeah, I can do 10. Actually, I'll do 5 double cheese or 10 regular cheeseburger. But if I'm doing 5 double cheese, you're gonna have to put jalapenos on those. Oh my God! White Castle's is coming to DFW, and guess what? It's not crazy far. Every time a new place opens here in DFW, I live in Central Dallas. It's always like 50 miles away. It's in this one's in Greenville. This one's just outside Fort Worth. On the far side. I'm like, not like the close side, just like Arlington is just outside Fort Worth for me in the convenience side. But, there's other places. It's out by the Texas Motor Speedway. No, White Castle is opening its first Texas location in Grandscape. Certainly not close to me, but we're up in Lake Louisville all the time, so why not swing by? Maybe the White Castle will go in the same parking lot as the Portillo's there. And oh my God! Here's the story. The 100-year-old burger chain known for its small square burgers is headed to North Texas. First it was Portillo's, and now it's White Castle. The massive shopping hub called Grandscape, north of Dallas, is bringing more out-of-town eats to the state. The Dallas Morning News teased yesterday and confirmed this morning that the oldest burger joint in America is ready to open a new restaurant. It's first in Texas. This summer, too. It says this summer. Well, it's August. What do you mean this summer? When is this thing opening? And here's the other thing that sucks. When White Castle opens, I'm going to have to add like 6 weeks to that. Like if it opens next week, I'll go to White Castle in 7 weeks because it's going to be insane. It's going to be just like Portillo's. And before that, do you remember when In-N-Out expanded into this market? It was insane with In-N-Out. That was probably like 2008 or something. In-N-Out, Portillo's, couldn't get into Portillo's. The lines were too long. White Castle's is going to be double that. People are going to drive from all over the South to get to White Castle's. People who have the crave. And you have to have the crave. You have to know what it tastes like. You have to dream. You have to dream of that flavor. It's such a unique flavor. You call it a burger. This isn't a good burger. Yeah, it's not really a traditional burger. It's like something else that's kind of like a burger, but that flavor, the grilled onions, the mustard. However, this story is from the Observer, the Dallas Observer, and unfortunately, it was written by somebody who I believe has never had a White Castle and is only writing this story based on what they've heard, or maybe they saw Harold and Kumar. I don't know, but listen. I will correct them as they make massive mistakes. The Dallas Morning News teased yesterday, and they confirmed it today, that we'll be opening in Grandscape this summer. The company is holding a press conference at 10:30 a.m. today, and will update this article when we have more information. It says White Castle is located primarily in the Midwest and the Northeast, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, New York, places like that. White Castle opened about 2 decades before McDonald's and serves up 100. Here you go. This is where I'm like, you've never had a White Castle. White Castle's opened about 2 decades before McDonald's and serves up 100% all beef square patties. Is that really 100% all beef? I don't know. I'm not asking questions. I don't know if it's real meat or not, but it's good. I love it. Serve up 100% all beef square patties. They're like really thin. They're like construction paper. That's, it's not a... This person's never had White Castles. White Castle's opened about 2 decades before McDonald's, serves up 100% all beef square patties on a small square bun. The original blah, blah, blah. Let's see. The slider comes with, here you go. This is where I know this person's never had White Castles. Is Mama B or anybody from Chicago in the chat room? Because you'll get a laugh out of this. This is how somebody is describing what the slider is. They cost $1.25. Let's see here. They come with caramelized onions, cheddar cheese, tomato lettuce, what? And a pickle. There's no tomato and lettuce on a White Castle's cheeseburger. It's a pickle. It's a bun that is stained. It doesn't even look like there's really mustard on it, but the bun looks stained with mustard. There's mustard, there's a pickle, there's cheese, and there is just paper thin piece of like steak-um meat. But I don't know. It all comes together, and it's amazing. It's amazing. This poor person writing for the Observer thinks there's lettuce and tomato on a White Castle, but there isn't. White Castle's opened 2 decades before, blah, blah. Oh, it also says here, this is the other thing they got wrong. The restaurant also recently, again, this is a Dallas Observer writer, the restaurant also recently introduced chicken sandwiches to its menu. Is the 1980s recent? What are you talking about? I call them chicken box. That's what we always called them. We'd go through the drive-through and I'd say, like, oh, give me 2 double cheeseburgers and 5 chicken box. They're little chicken sandwiches, and they've had them forever. White Castles has had chicken ringlets, which are also really good. They're like French fries, but they're little chicken rings. They've had chicken ringlets for 40 years. What are you talking about? They've recently introduced the chicken sandwich. The chicken sandwich at White Castles is a staple, as is the fish sandwich. Little tiny fish sandwich. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. I'm very, very excited. White Castle coming to North Texas. Not only am I excited, but also I have to tell you, my son who loves White Castle, he was first introduced to White Castle when he was probably, how old? God, 5 or 6. I don't know. Let's watch this. Here we go, because I have recorded that. I've recorded my son enjoying his first White Castle, and I would like to show it to you now because he's 16 years old and he's a big monster, and I like to remember when he was really cute and little, and here he is. My son's first reaction to eating a White Castle at Grandma's all the way back many, many years ago. Here we go. All right, All right, it's time for Mason's first White Castle hamburger. All right, here you go.
I gotta take it out.
All right, you take it out and you give it a taste. Tell me what you think.
Oh my God, this is so good, Daddy.
Oh, you like it?
This is very, very, very good.
Let me tell you something. The kids are honest. He ate like 4 of them. Yeah, you get like a bag of 10 of them. By the time we got home, he had dusted off 4 of them because they're little and they're just, I love that reaction. His reaction is so pure and so honest, and there's no bullshit to it. It's the first time he's tasted this, and he's going, oh my God. All right, it's time for Mason's first White Castle hamburger. All right, here you go.
I gotta take it out.
All right, you take it out and you give it a taste. Tell me what you think.
Oh my God, this is so good, Daddy.
Oh, you like it?
This is very, very, very good. I'm gonna get this again.
Oh, so you like the White Castle hamburger?
Yeah.
Here, take another bite. Oh, wow. All right, there you go. My kid. Forget that. Yeah, by the way, I did that a lot with him with like different Chicago foods when he would go visit Grandma, and they weren't all that kind of response. He did not take to the Italian beef sandwich right away. He was like, I don't know, Dad. But the White Castle, he said, we should have this again. Well, he hasn't had it in like 12 years. So coming to Grandscape, brand new here in North Texas. I'm very excited. White Castle's opening. It says this summer. I didn't see the press conference, so who knows. Here's a story that I thought was interesting concerning the people who self-medicate with marijuana. This comes to us out of The Guardian. The Guardian today did this big expose on, a lot of people who just like to get high will tell you that I don't just like to get high. This is for my anxiety. Or in my case, why I started using it regularly was for depression, because I found that it worked better than pills, than, whatever the hell else they wanted to give me. So this study is about people like me and people maybe like you who have begun dabbling with cannabis for medical reasons, but also because, let's be honest, if you're watching TV at night, if you're high, it's, just saying. But also the depression and the anxiety, but also, man, big bowl of ice cream at 10 o'clock after you're high and been watching Vikings for 3 hours. Oh, come on. Proves your life. Anyway, this article is about these such people, the kinds of folks who are self-medicating with weed. And they say that people who do that without a doctor's instruction run the risk of paranoia. To which I want to know, who's saying that? I don't know who's saying that. Self-medicating with weed. It says people who start smoking cannabis to alleviate pain, anxiety, or depression are at a higher risk of developing paranoia than those who use the drug recreationally, a study has found. What does that even mean? Like people who use weed recreationally, maybe that's it. Maybe that has it. People who use weed recreationally are weed users. They're accustomed to, they understand what's happening to them. But maybe somebody who I'm going to start, I have such terrible bursitis and my grandson told me that I should start smoking weed. Maybe that person gets a little paranoid. Because isn't being paranoid from smoking weed, for lack of a better term, isn't that very entry level pothead, right? Like you get paranoid smoking weed like the first 3 times you smoke weed, right? Isn't that kind of how it works out? I don't know. So it says here the research analyzed answers from 3,389 former and current cannabis users aged over 18 who had no clinical history of psychosis and had taken part in a Cannabis and Me survey. This was published by BMJ Mental Health and led by academics at King's College in London. The research found that those who started using cannabis to self-medicate for a condition such as pain, anxiety, or depression, and if they were experiencing minor psychotic symptoms, those people had higher paranoia scores. See that last one that they tagged on there? They didn't tag that on to the headline. The headline was, hey, if you're self-medicating for anxiety and depression, weed's going to make you paranoid. But then you read further, and it's not just pain, anxiety, or depression. It adds the extra. Oh, and also, if you're already experiencing some minor psychotic symptoms. All right, so I would say the minor psychotic symptoms trump the other two, and maybe you want to deal with that. I'll read it to you again. Published in BMJ Mental Health and led by academics at King's College London, the research found that those who had started using marijuana to self-medicate for a condition such as pain, anxiety, or depression, and if they were experiencing minor psychotic symptoms, they had a higher chance at experiencing paranoia. I am guessing that it's the psychotic symptoms that might lead to you having, some psych. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a depressed guy is going to necessarily fall into the whole paranoia after taking a couple of puffs. I think that you might have to sprinkle in a little bit of that already existing psychotic issue. All right, never mind. We'll move on. I don't need to move on. Burning Man has problems. We talked about Burning Man yesterday. 3 people were electrocuted today, or yesterday, I guess. Storms are rolling through there. They got some kind of fence, some kind of electric fence, and it was closing, and some people tried to keep it open, and then one person got trapped. 3 people got electrocuted. I hope they were wearing clothes. I hope it didn't smudge their body paint. We told you yesterday about Orgy Dome being destroyed over the weekend. That's right, another one of the main attractions there at Burning Man going on right now. Storms, the bad storms. It's bad weather. Seems like every year it's bad weather. Wasn't it just last year's Burning Man that people got trapped because of flooding, right? Do you remember that? So this year now it's like massive sandstorms, people getting electrocuted, Orgy Dome getting blown away. Hey, that's what she said. Made no sense. Doesn't matter. All right, so there's problems there at Burning Man. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if... Burning Man Festival dubbed Hell on Earth as treacherous rain deals another devastating setback. Burning Man's festival, Orgy Dome included, is facing more setbacks as dangerous storms cause chaos for planners and hopeful attendees who are now calling it Hell on Earth. Well, I'd have called it that before. Again, Burning Man. Just don't, what did I tell you yesterday? If we're out, we're socializing, I meet you. Hey, Pugs, this is my boyfriend, Brad. Hey, Brad, how are you? We're talking, we're getting to know. If you, somehow let me know that you're into Burning Man, I'm judging you. I'm judging you, Brad. I'm going to be not to your face, because I'm a decent guy, and, I can get along with people, and I'm pretty charming when I need to be. But in my mind, the minute you go, bruh, you got to go to Burning Man, in my mind, I'm going, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. He's an idiot. I don't feel the same way about other things. Like I don't feel the same. Like if you like want to go to Coachella or you want to go to Bonnaroo or you want to go to Lollapalooza or one of these festivals, music things, or that's fine. You're just a music guy. But I don't know what Burning Man is. Burning Man is just, it's not a music festival. Am I going to see it? I'll see bands, but you know, be like weird Burning Man bands. Anyway, forget about Burning Man. Not interested. All right, I stumbled across something today that I wanted to share with you. You know how I love my movies. Not only do I love my independent music, but I also love new movies. New movies coming out. I want to watch a trailer with you of a film that, oh my God, I'm so excited about. I am excited about for a number of reasons, but first and foremost, I am a massive fan of Will Arnett. Will Arnett, I mean, you can go all the way back to what? Arrested Development, where he played Job on Arrested Development. He's the voice of Batman in the animated Batman cartoons that my kid grew up with. He's been on everything. Used to be married to Amy Poehler. He is an amazingly talented actor, comedic and dramatic. I've seen him do drama. Will Arnett is great, and he has been great for a solid fucking decade, and there just hasn't been anything that has pushed him over the top, that has made people go, wow, this guy isn't just the funny brother on Arrested Development or the voice of Batman. This guy is an actual powerhouse when it comes to talent. He's got a new movie out, and I've never heard of this until today. I got it in my new movie little alerts that I get out. Directed by Bradley Cooper, who is turning into quite the little director. Bradley Cooper is becoming more than just a movie star. He's actually, you know, doing other things as well, directing most prominently. Well, this is his movie. It's a new Bradley Cooper movie. Bradley Cooper also plays a role in it, but it stars Will Arnett, and it's called Is This Thing On? And Will Arnett plays a struggling mid-tier, I don't even know what kind of road action he gets. He's a stand-up comedian. And again, his life is falling apart. And he's going up on stage and he's doing his comedy. And again, he's one of these middler guys. One of these guys, you look at like a guy, me, Will Arnett, we're about the same age. You look at us, you see us up there on a comedy stage on a Wednesday night, and you think, oh, this poor guy's career did not work. Some of the reviews that I've read for it, if you remember the film from a number of years ago that made Mickey Rourke a star again for a cup of coffee, and then we all realized he's gross and we moved on. The Wrestler, you remember The Wrestler, which was supposed to be this sort of really no holds barred, no pun intended, look at what, you know, the life of a grinding jobber wrestler is. Well, that is what this promises to be about the world of stand-up. It's called Is This Thing On? New movie by Bradley Cooper. It stars Will Arnett. There's a couple of other people. Laura Dern is in it as well. Let's watch the trailer. I'm very excited about this, and I really hope that this is like one of them movies that people start going, oh, Will Arnett's actually a dramatic actor too. Oh, he can actually do drama. Here we go. Is This Thing On? New film by Bradley Cooper starring Will Arnett.
Another one?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Alex Novak, downstairs in 2 minutes.
That's me.
Well, you better head down there then.
Where?
Just straight behind you, down the stairs.
Hey, what up, man?
How you doing?
You see the light? Just get off, right?
Straight women's experiences.
There you go.
Like,
Just talk to him. Have fun.
Tell a joke.
I think I'm getting a divorce. What tipped me off was that I'm living in an apartment on my own. Yeah. And my wife and kids don't live there. That was probably the biggest clue. Not exactly sure what happened. Came home from work one day. Someone said, "Is this thing over?" Pretty sure it was her. Probably should have paid attention. That's what she meant about not paying attention.
real relationship is finding somebody you can also be unhappy with. Somebody who has your back. You stopped having each other's backs.
So what, you tell jokes?
Well, I mean, I try. It's more like kind of funny stories from my life. And
Oh, honey, I had no idea your life was this bad.
Yeah, what's funny about your life?
This is why she threw you out.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be okay. I'll be okay.
That looks amazing. That looks like something I'd be very interested in watching. That looks like a good movie. And don't be an idiot. Don't go see it and go, it wasn't funny. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be funny. Okay. It's just about the life of a comic. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. I think it's supposed to be a pretty personal and serious, dramatic film. And I hope that it does wonders for Will Arnett, because I think that's a guy that people ought to be more about if you follow my drift. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for today's show. I give you a full 90 minutes. Look at that. I didn't think the show would even make 90 minutes, but we had some things to talk about, and I think we got through most of it, and we did it in 90 minutes, which is good. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow no show on Friday. No, I know. I'm sorry. I'm taking Friday off again. It's summer rules. You know how that goes. I got a big meeting on Friday. And I don't know how long it's going to take. And it's right in the middle of the day, and it's somewhere other than where we do this show. So I don't know how we could get back and forth. So no show on Friday. There will be a show tomorrow. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Thanks to Al and all who came out to trivia last night. We'll do it again next Tuesday night at the back 9. And that's it. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You people are the best. I love you. See you tomorrow.